Hello, welcome to video 21, cost-benefit analysis. We've looked in the last few videos at market failure through externalities. We looked at markets where negative externalities are created and markets where positive externalities are created. But of course, there are many industries where both positive and negative externalities get created. Now, one way that government can attempt to decide whether a major investment project is worth pursuing, because they know that it's going to create both positive and negative externalities, is through cost-benefit analysis, where all of the costs and all of the benefits are compared and valued, and it's judged whether it's worth pursuing with such a project. That project might be the building of a new airport, the building of a new runway at an existing airport, the building of a bridge, the building of a tunnel, a new motorway, even the hosting of the Olympic Games or the World Cup. All of these big ideas, these big projects, will undergo a cost-benefit analysis at the very initial planning stage in order to decide whether it's worth proceeding. And it's important to do this because, of course, we can rely on private businesses to compare private costs and private benefits, and only go ahead if the private costs exceed the benefits. But that does not take into account the externalities, so it's up to government to compare the full social costs and full social benefits and decide whether a project should be given the go-ahead. So, video 21, cost-benefit analysis. Also, I'm going to call this CBA, okay? So, the purpose of CBA, cost-benefit analysis, is to ascertain whether a major investment project is worth pursuing, not merely for profitability, but for the public good. Is it in the public interest? This is achieved by identifying, valuing, comparing the private and external costs and benefits of the project, inclusive of both current and future costs and benefits. It's very important that we remember that many of the benefits, it's usually the benefits, not the costs, come in the future, in the years, the months and the years after the project was achieved. I'll give you an example of that. The very first underground line in London, the Bakerloo line, which ran from Baker Street down to Waterloo, and was built, I think, in the 1860s, more than 150 years ago. Who would have thought back then that a century and a half later, it would still be helping people get around London, it would still be, well, they wouldn't have known about cars, but in fact it saved all the car emissions and congestion that would have come along when the car came along. No, but now people can go on the tube. So, an example of benefits still accruing 150 years after the construction and the costs of the project. So it's very important that we remember that many of the benefits will accrue way into the future. Okay, so that's that. Now, the stages of cost-benefit analysis. Firstly, identify all the costs and benefits. Secondly, attach a monetary value to these costs and benefits. Well, now that's very difficult to do, but there may be a range is given. The cost will be between this and this. The benefit will be that between there and there. So attach monetary values to every cost and every benefit. Thirdly, and this is very difficult, estimate future rates of interest and use them to discount the future value of costs and benefits to a value today. What do I mean by this? Imagine that you're considering the building of a bridge. It's going to save a lot of traffic. That bridge has a lifespan, you expect, of 100 years. And you think that every single year it's going to save your city £1 million in cost. It's going to reduce costs or give benefits of £1 million every year. But you must realise that to save £1 million 60 years from today cannot be valued today at £1 million. The value today of £1 million in 60 years is not £1 million. And we need to know rates of interest of the future. We need to estimate them to judge how much £1 million in 60 years is worth today. We need the value today of that future benefit. and it's going to be less. And if you estimate that the rate of interest is going to be 3% every year between now and 60 years from now, then maybe £1 million in 60 years' time, £1 million worth of benefit, is only worth £10,000 today. And with compound interest over 60 years, it would build to £1 million. So we cannot value future benefits at their future value. We have to work backwards and discount them according to rates of interest and find what their current value is today, and it will be less. Of course, that's an impossible task because of the not knowing the future, not knowing what the rate of interest will be. So it has to be done with estimates. And fourthly, comparing costs and benefits. This is the final stage. Once you've got all those current values of all the costs and benefits of today and the future costs and benefits, that we compare the costs and the benefits, total current values, and if the benefits exceed the costs, we proceed. So all the bridges that you see being built, all the hosting of Olympic Games or World Cups, all the extensions of motorways or runways at airports must be the result of cost-benefit analyses that came out as saying, yes, the benefits exceed the costs. Because if the costs exceeded the benefits, then the project would never have got off the ground, and we don't see them happening. So there are plenty of projects that were considered, and CBA was done, and then were rejected because it was felt that the benefits did not exceed the costs. Okay. Problems with cost-benefit analysis then. Firstly, the difficulties and the problems. Firstly, identifying all the costs and benefits. Very difficult to do that. There will be thousands and thousands of costs and benefits. And of course, there will always be unexpected ones. Secondly, putting a value on these. I mean, how do you value noise pollution, for example? Thirdly, valuing those future costs and benefits today when future interest rates are unknown. As I was explaining before, even if you can identify future costs and future benefits, which is very difficult to do, how can you place a value on them today for what they're worth in the future? We don't know future interest rates, so we're not able to discount the future value into today's value accurately. And finally, innovation changes future costs and benefits. Let's imagine that we plan building a city metro and it's going to cost billions and billions and billions of pounds, but we think it's going to save even more in terms of reducing traffic. But then in 5 years' time, maybe someone will invent a car which is completely and utterly clean and creates no pollution whatsoever. We don't know what future innovation is going to do, so we're not able to correctly or accurately identify and value the future costs and benefits, because we don't know what the future is going to bring in terms of technology. So these are problems with cost-benefit analysis. And I'm going to give you one more example of this. I live in Greece, as you know, and in 1997, right, 16 years ago, in 1997, Greece was awarded the right to hold the 2004 Olympics. So in 1997, Greece was very pleased because it had the 2004 Olympics. Now, they decided to go for the Olympics by doing a cost-benefit analysis. They considered all of the benefits to Greece and all of the costs to Greece and all the future, and they said, yes, it's worth going for these Olympics. And they got the Olympics. In 1997, they were awarded the 2004 Olympics. But when it came to holding those Olympics, the world was a very different world. Because, of course, in between 1997, getting the Olympics, and 2004, hosting the Olympics, September the 11th, 2001 happened, and the World Trade Centers were destroyed in that terrorist attack in the USA, and the world had changed, and the security costs that Greece faced as it hosted the 2004 Olympics were very much higher than they had estimated they would be back in 1997 as they planned should we have the Games. So it's just an example of how cost-benefit analysis can never really be accurate, because you just don't know what the future is going to bring. Greece's costs, had they known what those costs were going to be, because of the changed world in the face of terrorist threats and security costs, had they known that, then they may not have even tried to host the 2004 Games. That's just an example of that. Okay, so I hope that was a short, useful video for you on cost-benefit analysis. See you in the next video. Okay.